Okay, Rob here. This is a second analysis video of the picnic spread from the July 1965 issue of Vogue, this being pages 36 to 37. Now, this is a piece of photographic advertising. This is actually not, a piece of artwork like we saw in the last one. It is a photographic fashion spread. The purpose of this is to sell the clothes depicted here to the target audience. Okay, but again, it's black and white, which is, you think that the pictures would be the fashions would be the ones that are most likely to be in colour, but no. But then again, there's something quite artistic about it as well. The photographer in case here is Henry Clark. As we can see down here, his photo credit, Henry Clark, on the recto page there. Then what will be the gutter? Henry Clark is an American fashion photographer. He was known particularly for his work in Vogue. Died in 1996 at the age of 78. But again, one of the great fashion photographers of all time. Now, again, we need to be looking at the semiotics of this. We need to be considering Roland Barthes, what is denoted, what is connoted. We need to consider the juxtaposition and the anchorage. Again, that's Roland Barthes again. We need to be considering the representations of the people on display here. Now, in this case, not only is it about binary opposites of gender, so binary opposites, Claude Levi-Strauss, but in particular we're looking at binary opposites in terms of ethnicity and culture and, Occident versus Orient. So the key theory we're going to be looking at here, as much as anything, is ethnicity and post-colonial theory by Paul Gilroy. Now, what have we got up here? Up here we've got what's called a pull quote. A pull quote is a quote that's been pulled from the text. Although it's not actually been pulled from the text of the article in this case, it's been pulled from, I'm assuming, a poem, All for Love by Dryden. In quotation marks, ellipsis has obviously been cut out from something. She came from Egypt, her galley down the silver synods rode, the tackling silk, the streamers waved with gold. Okay, so this is implying that what we've got in this image is Egypt. Egypt, of course, is Africa. Egypt was a British colonial imperial territory. We had owned it up until the end of World War II. Not entirely sure when we left. However, about, let me see, was it now about 11 years, I think it was, before this? I think it was 1954. Britain, along with France and Israel, had invaded the newly independent Egypt in order to try and take back control of the Suez Canal, which had been nationalised by the Egyptian government. This was seen as the last gasp of the great European imperial powers to try and control Africa. Now, it was a military disaster. Even though, I say that, even though it was a military success, the British and the French and the Israelis easily defeated the Egyptian military. It was a diplomatic disaster. Pressure from the United Nations, and particularly America, the new imperial power, although they would never admit it, forced France and Britain and Israel to withdraw. So the Egyptians essentially lost militarily but won politically. So, post-colonial, the very definition of post-colonialism, right? But we can see here that Paul Gilroy says, the idea that colonial discourses continue to inform contemporary attitudes towards race and ethnicity in the post-colonial era, and the idea that civilizationism constructs racial hierarchies and sets up binary oppositions based on the notion of otherness. So what we've definitely got here is a binary opposite of white versus non-white, people of colour. Right? Look at the man here in his smart suit. her in her fashionable, wealthy clothing. Whereas these men, these Egyptian men, are dressed in traditional clothing. Now this makes them look exotic. It highlights their otherness. It highlights the fact that they are foreign. It might even suggest that they are a bit barbaric or savage from a post-colonial point of view, that they are not as sophisticated as we are, in inverted commas. That Egypt is an exotic place where white Europeans can go and play. They can sail down the Nile like they're Cleopatra, being served by their native servants. These people of colour are there to serve these people. Okay? So whilst we're in a patriarchal society, we might say women are inferior to men. That only goes so far. Because if you look at intersectionality, which again is a feminist theory, but let's face it, if you are a man and you are a person of colour, you are in a white, patriarchal, heterosexual culture going to be inferior even to a white woman. Okay? This is part of the sexism and racism that was particularly prevalent back in the 1960s and is still prevalent in many ways today. But look at the composition of this. Again, we've got the fruit and the wine, which looks possibly like it might be champagne, I guess. This is implying luxury, sophistication. You know, the fact that they can be sailing down the Nile, having a picnic, is luxurious. It's part of that jet-set lifestyle we talked about. She, of course, is going to be the ideal self. It's a very weird pose she's in. One of the ways in which women might be objectified is to make them look submissive, to put them in submissive poses. So we'll often see high-angle shots looking down at them, or we'll see them in poses that are submissive, and that means lying down or kneeling down. Kneeling is a pose of submission, and here she's kneeling down and leaning back. She's got this big smile on her face, but this guy almost seems to be ignoring her, like he's writing something. Maybe he's still busy working on business. Maybe he's signing a check. She's just cavorting about. Her outfit looks vaguely ethnic. Again, it's that cultural appropriation, the appropriation of the exotic Oriental styles into Western fashion, which fashion's been doing for as long as fashion's been going, right? She's wearing a turban. She's got this exotic-looking jewellery that looks foreign when she's clearly not. Her almost Egyptian Cleopatra-style eye makeup here. We've got this iconography of the foreign, of the exotic, like these hanging lamps. Now, there's a juxtaposition between the text, the caption, if you will, and the image. This pull quote is implying something. It's telling us Egypt. It's using luxurious words like silk and streamers and gold. Her galley belonged to her, showing her wealth. Now, what does it say here? Shimmering, seductive silk tunic, eastern blue, fringed with golden lace, flowering pearly gold and silver roses, 55 guineas. Remember, we said that's 21 shillings in a guinea, and Lord knows what that'd be worth in today's money. Hundreds, maybe thousands of pounds. Pure white silk corridor pants, 22 guineas. Cascade of golden, pearly green glass beads, all at Savita. Moon white chiffon turban, Asher. £3, 4 shillings and 6pence. Simpson. Nile picnic prepared by the New Winter Palace Hotel, Luxor. Again, sophistication, wealth, expense. These are very, very, very expensive clothes. The kind of things that might cost a fortune for an average working person. Let's see what £3, 4 shillings and 6pence is worth. £3, 4 shillings and 6pence in today's money would calculate at somewhere between 160 and 150 pounds for that turban alone. Right? I haven't got a calculator to convert guineas. So very expensive. Okay, high class, haute couture, high fashion. Can I do the next page while I'm at it? No, I might have to do it separately. Okay, so again, think about the representations. Think about who is being represented, how they're being represented, what the binary opposites might be. And here we've got a binary opposite of gender and ethnicity going on here, about inferior versus superior, about servant, about master or mistress, I should say. You probably be the master. Yeah, about work and about play, and about luxury. All right. Again, being rich enough to be able to travel to Egypt would be a luxury beyond anybody but the richest and most lucky of people. Right, next video we're going to be looking at is the next double page spread of this, which is page 40 to 41.